Hi, this is Mike at WinCNC, and I just downloaded an image of the state of West Virginia and vectorized it. I widened the panhandle out a little, the northern panhandle a little bit, and the neck on the eastern panhandle, I widened it out also, so that I could get a tool in between them and do the cutouts that I needed to do. What I'm going to try to do is do something like my cutout tool, which I know several of you have downloaded and tried. But instead of using the angle offset, I'm just going to use the offset portion of it. And I'll get to that in a minute. The first thing I'm going to do is to do a profile toolpath. And I'm going to use a 1/4 inch end mill, and I'm going to go, I set my material at a 1/4 inch thick, and I'm going to do an inside cut, and I'll just click calculate and reset the preview and preview the visible toolpath and get rid of these things. I do that by double clicking, in case you didn't know. I'm going to zoom in and move over to the eastern panhandle here. Get that right. And it's pretty accurate, but there are some things missing. If we come into the drawing, you can see what I'm talking about. These lobes that are sticking out that go into the state of Virginia and here into the state of Maryland. In the 3D view, you can see that those don't really show up very well. So the only way that you can get those to show up better is to use a smaller diameter tool. And that's where using something like my angle offset tool would help. And even though I'm not using a V-bit, I can still use that tool. And I'll pull it up and show you. And I'm just going to tell it that I've got a 0 V-tool angle. I'm going to tell it that I'm using a 1/4 inch end mill. And my cut depth, this one doesn't matter because I'm using a straight-sided bit. If I were using an angled bit, I'd have to give a correct depth. But I'll tell it anyway. I'll say 0.25 and calculate. And it tells me that I need an offset of 0.122. My first offset would be 0 because I'm not using a V-bit. So I could use a 0.122, and I'll do that real quickly here. And I'll do it inward, offset, and close this. I'll come over to the other side here, close this, and come, and now I'm going to do a pocket. And I'll choose this and select both of these, and you can see that there's an offset here all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to use a 1/8 inch end mill. I'm going to pocket this and calculate, and there's quite a bit of cutout there. If we come back to here, you can see all this blue. That's getting more area than the 1/4 inch end mill would get. If we turn that off, you can see here, watch here, over here, up in this northern panhandle, it's going to get some. So there's quite a bit of it there. But it's also going to take quite a bit of time to get all that. And it all comes out as a sacrifice. I mean, you can decide whether you want to do it or not, but that's over 6.5 minutes to do all those little cuts. So I would rather do that a different way. So I'm going to go back over to the other side, and I am going to select that 0.122 one and delete that line. Select this one again, and I'm going to do another offset, and I'm going to do it at 1/10 of an inch instead of 0.122. And what this does is it sets the line closer to this line, and therefore there are going to be fewer points where the actual 1/8 inch end mill can get into. So I'll do that and show you what I'm talking about here. So I'll come back over to the other side. I'm going to recalculate this toolpath, and I'm going to tell it that I want to do one pass, a single pass. I'm going to calculate it again, and I messed up. Might as well uncheck these both, and I'm going to come back here, come back to here. I need to select both of these. Remember, I'm pocketing, so I calculate again. And now I have fewer of those pockets to look at. And if we look at it here, remember there were blue spots all over the place in that other one. But now I only have a few. Got one here, 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 and up here in the corner up here, I've still got those. So now if we turn this on, it's still virtually the same thing. Getting into these places a little tighter. Still down here. So that all looks good, but now if we look back up to time, you can see that this only added 25 seconds instead of 6 minutes and 39 seconds. So doing this with a closer line so that it cannot get into quite as many places helped out a lot. Now I could, since I've got that one, I could actually do one more, and I'll come back over and do it real quickly. And I'm going to do this one with a 1/16 inch end mill. And what I want to do, that other one was with 1/8 inch end mill, and I did a 0.1. So on this one, half the size, I'm going to do half the distance here, 0.05, and I'm going to do another offset to the inside. And now I come back over, and I'm going to hit the F12 key and come back, and now I'm going to close that, and I'm going to make a new pocket cut. Select both of those here, and on this one I'll leave 2 passes because the tool is so small. And I'll calculate, and it says no toolpath calculated. Let's see, maybe I'm a little bit too close. Oh, I know what it is. Use an 1/8 inch end mill. Need to come over and grab a 1/16 inch end mill. Try it again. Okay, now we come back in and we turn this off, and we look at the spots again. So here we got a here, here, over in here, a little more up here. Up here in this corner you got one, and just little ones everywhere like that. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do both of these and show you here, like in this eastern panhandle, and you can see that it did quite a bit of work there. In the northern one, it did most of the work. It did a good job of cutting those out. So now I come to this one, and I will preview this visible toolpath, and this may not show up quite as much, but it'll show a little. and you can see that it cut all these little ridges and stuff in. So now our actual cutout looks a whole lot closer to the actual line that that was being cut. You can see that we follow. If we turn these off, turn this off, and this off, you can see that we leave off a lot of things if we don't have these. And that's the thing about doing the offsets. Now if we come back over, I added some time with this pocket 6 here. And we'll see how much time. 1 minute and 51 seconds. So all told 3 minutes and 13 seconds to do this. And in my opinion, it does a fairly decent job with my cutout of my state of West Virginia. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.